Because we are like 10 layers deep into this new fascistic hell that's taken over our government. The House of Representatives just passed a bill. One of the first things they've done, this is their priority, is to bar trans athletes from female school sports teams. But the Democrats in this case at least have come up with a pretty good response to it, which we'll get to. But the bill is HR 28, titled the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act. It would modify Title IX to singularly recognize an individual's sex based on their, quote, reproductive biology and genetics at birth, or at least a simplistic concept of what that is from a person who doesn't understand anything about it. Because of course, once you actually dig down into the biology, it's not nearly as cut and dried as they would have you pretend that they think. But that's what they're gonna do. The measure would effectively bar educational institutions which oversee youth sports across the country from allowing transgender women and girls from participating in women's sports, or else risk suspending or terminating their federal funding. And so the issue is that we already live in a context in which people are throwing wild accusations that athletes that they think don't fit into the mold in their mind of what a cis female looks like must therefore be trans. I want that person to be trans, so I'm just gonna say that they're trans, which means there's ambiguity and there's going to be accusations being thrown around. And that means that girls at the high school level who don't fit traditional norms of beauty, or maybe they're too tall or they're too strong, or maybe they're just too good at the sport that they're playing, are now gonna have to be investigated. And we already know how that ends up going when the right wingers get their hands on it, and unfortunately get their hands on the high school females as well. And so there's gonna be genital inspections. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have to prove in their mind that this person is cisgender. So this is the Republicans telling guys working in high school sports around the country, you know what? If you just raise a fuss, or if there's one person who complains about this sophomore girl, then you can probably pull her shorts down. That's what they're allowing in this. And basically every Republican in the House of Representatives thinks that's the best thing they've ever heard. Not only that, it's a priority. That's the first thing we need to get done in Congress. And so in addition to this, they try to pretend that it's about something more than just excluding trans kids. They say they want to do a survey documenting the adverse psychological, developmental, participatory, and sociological results to cisgender girls when transgender athletes are allowed to compete alongside them. Spoiler alert, there's not gonna be much because there's basically no examples of this happening. It's a fake problem they've made up. Oh, also, could we maybe look into the adverse psychological, developmental, participatory, and sociological results on the trans girls when they're now barred by the federal government from playing field hockey? Is that a thing that we could do? I mean, they are technically human. I know that they're second-class citizens at best, but maybe we could consider the effect on them. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay, that's great. Well, unfortunately, in this case, 2 Texas Democrats actually voted in favor of this bill. This is Vicente Gonzalez and Henry Cuellar. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi, for protecting Henry Cuellar a couple cycles back. And so they're big fans of that. But as I said, this is empowering child predators to look in the shorts and under the skirts of teen girls. And the Democrats have been pushing that, the predator empowerment branding. Hakeem Jeffries suggested the legislation would create opportunities for predatory adult behavior in sports like gymnastics and wrestling. AOC said, when we tell the truth about what Republicans are doing, and when we're unafraid to do that, it generates momentum. And when we lean into the momentum that we generate, and when Democrats aren't afraid to throw a damn punch, then we can see that we can yield the results. We have to be strong about these things. And I think projecting strength attracts support. And especially when it's just honest, when you're, I love that we have a case where Jim Jordan gets to relive an earlier phase in his life where he once again gives the big thumbs up to kids being abused just because they want to play some sports. But anyway, it's gonna go to the Senate. It will have to pass a likely filibuster. I am assuming that it will fail that, but we live in hell, Sharon, so maybe not. What do you think?
This bill is about marginalizing people, okay? When women are being raped in the armed forces, they don't really want to protect them. They don't want to protect them at all. When women need medically necessary abortions, they don't want to protect them. So what they're doing is addressing an issue that is frankly a non-issue. Okay, it's a non-issue. You're just making it with your stupid culture wars. This was your #1 priority. in the state that we're living in currently. Tells us everything we need to know. They're going to continue with this nonsense as long as we allow it.
100%. And for any MAGA people that might be watching, this is just your latest daily reminder. This is what you're gonna get. And I know that you think that you want this, but this isn't just what you're gonna get. This is all you're going to get. Identity politics. That's it. A little bit of red meat, a little bit of a squirrel to distract you from their true priorities, which is handing over trillions of dollars to the wealthy. They're gonna make trillions. You're gonna get to, I don't know, sleep easy knowing that in Seattle or whatever, a trans girl won't be able to play basketball. That's great. You might lose your house, but at least that girl in Seattle won't be able to play basketball. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.